Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be discussing Lexapro, the antidepressant medication, and how it affects me. Lexapro is a brand name for the antidepressant medication escitalopram, which belongs to a class of drugs known as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. It is used to treat depression and anxiety disorders, including generalized anxiety disorders, social anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. The most common side effects of Lexapro includes nausea, headache, insomnia, dizziness, drowsiness, dry mouth, sweating, blurred vision, and changes in appetite. Less common side effects may include sexual dysfunction, weight gain, and gastrointestinal problems. Lexapro works by increasing the availability of the neurotransmitter serotonin in the brain, which helps to regulate mood, emotions, and anxiety. By blocking the reabsorption of serotonin, more of the neurotransmitter remains in the brain, resulting in improved mood and reduced anxiety. It is important to note that Lexapro and other antidepressants can take several weeks to start working and may initially cause a temporary increase in anxiety or other side effects before the full therapeutic effects are realized. It is important to follow the prescribed dosage and talk to a healthcare professional if you experience any side effects or concerns. As stated in my video, What Mental Illness Looks Like, I personally fought being medicated for anxiety and depression for many years. I fought it because I felt that therapy would be enough, but I continued to spiral out of control, and I realized after intense therapy that I needed more. Upon deciding to take the medication, I did intense research on all of the various antidepressant medications, and I decided to go with Lexapro because I felt that that was the one that I would be able to work with. One of the main reasons that I chose Lexapro over other medications like Zoloft was due to the side effects that were stated in the other medications. The main side effect that gave me cause of concern was that you could experience seizures if you tried to get off of any of the other ones while taking it, and I did not want that. Initially, I did push back on the dosage, and I opted to take the least amount of the medication that would be offered to me, which was 5 milligrams. I started on the medication approximately a month ago, and I can honestly say that my side effects have been minimal. I have experienced some sweating and some dry mouth, but other than that, I've been okay. And I'm experiencing floaters in my vision. I will, however, say that my appetite has changed, and for some reason, I have been craving sweets, which is something that I had gotten off of years ago. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the medication, but I do have a sweet tooth. Now, how it worked for me during a traumatic experience, that is another issue. This was my experience. On Wednesday of last week, I had a therapy session with my therapist. Then on Thursday, I had a consultation with my psychiatrist. During this consultation with my psychiatrist, she recommended that I increase the dosage from 5 milligrams to 20. Because I am anti-medication, I did push back on that and agreed to go with the 10 milligram. She stated that I needed to increase the dosage because if heaven forbid something were to happen to my elderly parents, the dosage that I was currently on may not be enough to get me through any potential trigger that would keep me from spiraling out of control as I had been doing over these past few years. Well, it happened just as she said. On Friday, my first test presented itself. On Friday, I went to my parents' house to walk the dog. Let me say that they shouldn't have because he's a puppy and they're old. But my mother loves the dog, so she insists on keeping him. I exited the gate with the dog and realized that the harness was not on properly, and he continued to wiggle himself around and try to get out of the harness. So, in an effort to keep him from running in the streets loose, I managed to get him back into the gate, and my mother was walking back into the gate as well during that time. The dog is 65 pounds, and he continued to jump on me. He was jumping on my mom. He was jumping on my dad. And then finally, he jumped on my mom. My mom fell over, hit her head first into the side of the house, and landed on the gas meter. It was a horrific sight. As my mom laid there in excruciating pain, I didn't think she was going to make it, given the fact that she already had 2 strokes. Everything is playing in my mind as I called 911 to come. My mom lays there, and the first thing out of her mouth was, it wasn't the dog's fault. As if I really gave a damn about the dog over her life. I make it make sense. Long story short, my mom is doing fine. Rushed her to the hospital. They did all of the CT scans, x-rays on all the different parts of her body that were injured. And she's injured, but she's doing fine. But I am still really confused as to why my mother has so much love for this dog that she's only had a few weeks. Now, normally during a crisis, I am like Wonder Woman. I can handle anything. It's usually after the fact that I completely start to spiral, especially when I have multiple triggers, one after the other. That's usually when my emotions go haywire. It has been a few days since the crisis with my mom, and I'm trying to evaluate how the medication has helped me during this time. Now, I will say that I do believe that the small dose of medication that I have been taking has helped, but I do believe I should increase the medication at this time. Not because the medication hasn't worked, it's just that I still have really bad shaking, and that has not ceased. So I have decided that on Monday I will start increasing the medication to 10 milligrams, and hopefully that will help the shaking. In an effort to be transparent, my ultimate goal is to help all of us that suffer with mental health issues. In the middle of making this video, I just received a horrible call, and now I'm feeling another type of way. Because I do know a lot of people, and a lot of people do depend on me for things, I know that these triggers are going to constantly happen, which is why I made the decision to be medicated. I am empathetic to a fault, and I find myself aligning myself with everybody else's trauma around me. But life continues to life as I try to navigate through it. I just received a call that my friend who passed away in my arms from a gunshot wound to the head in July of 1989, that her mother just passed away on this morning. And in an effort to reach her son, someone had to go to his house because he wouldn't answer the phone, and they found that he had passed away in his home. My plan is to increase my medication on tomorrow instead of Monday, and hopefully I can hold everything together. I am asking for prayers for my mother's complete healing, as well as for my friend's family who is experiencing a devastating loss during this time. In addition to that, I will also be doing an update video on how the 10 milligrams affected me versus the 5 milligram. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed day.